Fruitarian, living lifestyle. Learn about the benefits and start now. Eating from the vine and feeling divine. Fruit living with nature's design.
It's been a while since I made a video. I've arrived in Chiang Mai like 5-6 days ago, and the air quality has been so bad, guys. It's unbelievable. The smoky season usually ends middle of April. It's now like April 22nd, April 23rd, and the smoke is still very, very bad. Like, you can't see the stars at night, can't even see the moon at night. And when the sun's out, it's like super hazy, like behind all this haze. I've still been training in the smoke, but my nose has been plugged. I've been having all this, coughing up all this snot, and it's pretty nasty. But I want to let you know how you can get off salt forever. I don't think salt is a necessary part of anyone's diet. I believe we can get enough sodium from plants and fruits and, you know, raw living foods. We don't need salt from the ocean. People ask me, Ted, what do you think about sea salt? And I say it belongs in the sea. In the same way when you ask me what I think about maple syrup, I say it belongs in the maple tree. The only things that humans are really meant to consume were fruits from a fruit tree. It's so obvious that we're designed for fruit. Everything about us is designed for fruit. From the fact that we have color vision, we can see fruits from far away, the fact that we can smell fruits from far away, the fact that we can easily obtain the fruits like no other animal can, the fact that we love to climb trees as kids, like instinctual just to climb trees. We love being around trees. The way fruit tastes on our tongue, the way it digests, the way it comes out, the way it just reproduces itself so easily and effortlessly for us. It's clearly designed for us. So when it comes to salt, how come everyone's consuming salt? I believe that salt can be very addictive for a lot of people. I myself was definitely addicted to salt. I remember boiling up some broccoli when I was back in my cooked food days, and I'd eat the broccoli on its own, just plain cooked broccoli, and I was like, nah, it needs like a little something. It's just not doing it for me. So put like a little bit of salt on it, and oh my god, it's like crack cocaine, man. It is so good, so good. Something about it, it triggers something in our brain that is 100% for sure. I'm sure if you hooked up your brain to electrodes and you ate some cooked broccoli or some cooked carrots with no salt, your brain would just, the activity would be kind of low. But when you add a little bit of salt to it, you eat it, the activity in your brain would be like, the salt just makes things like crack cocaine, man. So my tips for getting off salt, the first tip is to change your self-image. Change the way you see yourself. If you don't do this first, then none of the other tips are even going to be possible. All your attempts to quit salt will be in vain. You must change the way you see yourself if you wish to change your results. So change the way you see yourself, in that you see yourself as someone who doesn't consume salt. You see yourself as someone who just lives on raw fruits and vegetables. And I say no salt. Why no salt? First of all, let's just back up a little bit. Salt sucks because it sucks the water out of you. Salt sucks because it sucks the water out of you. It doesn't give your body anything it needs. In fact, it takes away things. Yeah, your body needs sodium, but it can get it from coconut water, it can get it from celery, it can get it from watermelon, it can get it from all sorts of plants and fruits, no problem. So you don't need salt. But yeah, first things first, change your self-image. When you change your self-image to that of someone who doesn't consume salt, you just will naturally do the next tips I'm going to give you. Like, the next tips I give you aren't even going to be tips. They're just going to be like symptoms or side effects of a person who sees himself as a non-salt consumer. And if it looks like I'm sweating my tits off, it's because I am. I just ran a 5K and hopped in the shower, hopped out. But alas, it's like 7:30 in the morning and the heat's already here. It's like 32 degrees already, 7:30 in the morning. So I'm going to be sweating my little boobies off all day long. But second tip, once you've changed your self-image, the second tip would be to stock up, load up on actually satisfying foods. The only reason you're putting salt on something is because it's not satisfying. So massive tip here, guys. If you don't have satisfying foods, like if you don't have enough amazing watermelon or enough amazing mangoes or enough amazing avocados or bananas or dates, if you don't have enough amazing papayas in your life, then of course you're gonna want to add salt to your little spinach salad, or of course you're gonna want to add salt to your boiled broccoli or what have you. Boiled broccoli is not satisfying in and of itself. All by itself, it's not satisfying. You gotta add something to it. So stay away from foods that you have to add stuff to. And if you want a salad and salad by itself isn't satisfying, get my clean and simple recipe ebook. I have like over 50 recipes in there, and like 15 of which are like amazing salad sauces or zucchini noodle pasta sauces. You pour that sauce on your salad, and that sucker's satisfying, man. That sucker is so satisfying. That sucker will fill you up, and it'll actually make you pretty stuffed. Those salad dressings and those zucchini noodle pastas kept me going for a few years in Canada. No salt needed. No salt needed. So second tip recap, load up on satisfying foods and eat satisfying foods. If you think you need salt, it's because you're eating unsatisfying foods. Tip number 3 would be to get enough sodium-rich foods in your diet. So throughout the day, snack on coconut water. Coconut water is full of sodium. Snack on tomatoes. Tomatoes got a good amount of sodium in there. And snack on celery. If you're eating vegetables, snack on some celery. Celery, tomatoes, and coconut water, they've all got a good amount of sodium in there. So that way you're just naturally going to be getting more sodium in your diet, and you're not going to be craving it from the sea. Another way of getting more sodium in your diet is on your salads you can want, or just again as a snack, is you can put celery salt on your food. So you dehydrate some celery in the dehydrator, and you grind it up in the blender afterwards, and you get celery salt. Or not a blender, sorry, you grind up the dehydrated celery in a coffee grinder, and you're left with the celery powder. It's a very salty celery. Very cool stuff there. Or just get some seaweed, get some nori, get some kelp, and sprinkle that on whatever you want, and there's your natural sodium there. But even that, even seaweed, I would stay away from. That's definitely a next step up from sea salt, but it's still kind of going to dehydrate you. It's not meant for human consumption. Maybe if we are going to consume it, it's going to be in very, very small amounts. In nature, I believe we jump in the ocean, you know, we'd hop out, and by jumping in and out, you know, we get some salt in our face, our lips, and our tongue, and we swallow a little bit and get good to go through our skin as well. But we're never gonna boil a bunch of ocean water and get it down to the granules of salt and consume that. And then my 4th tip would be to sweat out all the excess sodium that's already in your body. You can do this by going to saunas, going to steam rooms, but my best recommendation would be to either go to a tropical country like Thailand and just live in Thailand and sweat it out all the time, and not go to the gourmet vegan restaurants that everyone goes to every night here. Or go to spin classes. Go on a join a spin class group and just ride your bike on the stationary, on your watt bike, on your power bike, on your home trainer, on your turbo trainer, whatever you want to call it, and just spin on your stationary bike trainer, and just spin, man. You'll sweat so much, like 10-15 minutes indoors. The goal is to sweat your arse off. Another great way to sweat it out is Bikram yoga. I remember my sister, when she first went raw vegan, she said the thing that kept her raw easiest and off salt easiest was by going to Bikram yoga all the time and then going to the sauna all the time. So those two things also keep you warm in the winter, so you're not going to be craving that warmth from the cooked food, which I believe is, you don't crave warmth from cooked food. If you wanted warmth, then you'd, well, maybe you mentally are drawn, you're attracted to the comfort factor of the warmth in the cooked food, but it's the addictive factor of the cooked food that makes you want to go eat it. But because if you wanted warmth, then you just drink hot water. Plain and simple. The hot water makes you so hot. I remember being in Canada, being so cold, having all my sweaters and toucan, or I don't know if you got a beanie on, if you're from Australia watching this, that warm hat that you put on, and drinking all this hot water, and having to take the toque off, take the beanie off, take the jacket off, because it was so hot from drinking the hot water. So drinking hot water makes you just as hot as eating cooked food does. So you don't need to eat cooked food for the warmth, you can just drink hot water. But the last tip for getting off salt is to take some water, put some salt in there, mix it around, maybe add some coconut oil in there if you want as well. Oil and water mix well, don't they? And then you sip it. You don't drink it, but you just sip it, knock it back, and swish it around in your mouth for a good 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then spit it out. And that way you're getting your salt satisfaction in there just from being on your tongue, and you're swishing out the coconut oil to clean your teeth as well at the same time. But if you're not ready to cut out salt entirely, you still think you want to give yourself some more time, if you still see yourself as someone who consumes salt, then just do what you can to wean off salt. Instead of putting 5 dashes of salt on your thing, count and put like half the amount. Put like 2.5, put like 1, 2, and then that's it. Just like wean off. Cut it down, cut the dose down in half at least. But yeah, I hope you got something from this video, guys. Just remember, you gotta change the way you see yourself if you want to see your results change.